interference, it might also be stress. So we need to clear interference. We need to nourish the body. Now, everything is frequency. A donut is frequency, broccoli is frequency. It operates at very different frequencies, and your body communicates it to it on those different frequency wavelengths and responds to what you input. The lotion you put on your hands, it has a frequency. Everything is frequency. And your body then responds to that frequency. You're having a pretty decent day. Somebody comes in and is angry and screaming and yelling. That has a frequency, and your body responds to that frequency. Now, we can get out of balance over time, which some of that is natural. Our body runs through these different cycles, but modern life has far more inputs now than it ever has that bring the body out of balance and out of frequency. Cell phones, Wi-Fi, computers, Bluetooth, all of our time in front of televisions instead of outside. And then the other side of it, sunlight has a frequency. Being outside and grounding yourself to the earth, that has a frequency that communicates to the body. And so our modern life has a lot of frequency imbalances. So what we want is something that will help tune our frequency. Here's the other thing that Healy helps to do is to charge the cells. So our cells are basically energy frequency machines. They're like batteries. And so if you think about it in terms of your cells being batteries, when your cell phone is running a little low, right, you're going to plug it into the wall and you're going to charge it up. And so effectively what we're doing using the Healy is we're charging up those batteries. That's a lot of what one of the programs is the Gold Cycle program. It's helping to charge up your batteries. Now, when your batteries are charged up, and in the cell, it's called the mitochondria. When your batteries are charged up, they run optimally. They run really well. So you have energy, you sleep well, you get up well, smiling throughout the day. It's easier to navigate through the things that you need to do when your batteries are charged up. So I think of frequency as tuning the radio stations so that the song you're trying to sing, the song your cells are trying to sing comes through clearly, and charging your batteries up when they've been depleted. And that's really how I look at frequency. Now, the body has three basic or three core ways that it operates. We have the physical body, we have the magnetic body, and we have the energetic body. Now, you don't need to know all of what they do. I mean, you're most familiar with the physical body. This is the density that we're dealing with. But in between all of those cells, there is dark matter, which is quantum, and it is frequency and vibration, sound and light. Those are great examples. So every time your cells work, they emit sound and light. Every time they do their job, they emit a little flash of light and a little bit of sound. Obviously, you can't hear it because it's really, really, really low and it's inside. But it does emit a little sound and light. So we can speak to the cells through sound and light. Antioxidants. An antioxidant is where you take a substance. I'll take blueberries as an example. You eat blueberries and they donate electrons. Because when a cell works, it actually kicks out an electron, and it can be short, it can be imbalanced. So instead of 4 paired together, now it's got 3, and you can see it's kind of wobbly. So a donor electron, a blueberry with its electrolytes in it and its antioxidants, will donate another electron. So this is part of what frequency healing helps to do, is to scavenge and find electrons and then donate them so you have a nice functional cell. So this gives you an idea of what Healy is aiming to do through frequency healing. Now, why is Healy different? Because people mention Rife and others, all brilliant technologies. Royal Rife was so amazing, and the work that he did. He identified so many of these frequencies. Since Royal Rife did his work, many others have also done some incredible research and some incredible work. Dr. Carolyn McMakin is one, and then Nuno Nina is another. And these are both medical partners that work with Healy to develop the frequency database that is the foundation for Healy. So we've got about 144,000 frequencies in the database for Healy, and there's like 25 million in the core database that is Time Waver, which is for practitioners. But they said, we need something that people can use at home, that they can use for themselves. How do we do that? And how do we make it compact? So they did that by taking 144,000 frequencies. So if you think about it, like if you had 144,000 pieces of rice and you needed to pick out the 10 that were going to help you the best, you kind of go, I don't know what to do. But they did put together this amazing team of practitioners. These are people that have healed with frequency for decades, including Nuno Nita, including Dr. McMakin, and several others who are really brilliant in their fields, and said, what are your best frequency programs? And they developed programs. So it took us 144,000 and they said, okay, we're going to clump these into programs and then we'll name these programs. So there's acute stress. There is Fine Flow, which is one of my favorites. That's in the job sleep program. And that's about like when your stress level is all over the place, Fine Flow is about making an even keel. Pure Calm, when you've been stressed and revving for hours on end, Pure Calm is about just calming your whole system down. There are relax programs, detoxification programs, pain programs, digestive programs. Some of my favorites are the sciatica program, which I used to help my legs for a long time. And I love all the meridian programs because energy needs to flow through the body. So we talked about the physical body. This is the energetic body. So energy needs to flow through the body to transport things, to clear things out. And when you've got pain, you've got stuck energy. So we need to get this energy flowing and keep it flowing. And the meridian pathways are some of the ways that we do that. So if you look into the meridian programs, there's all kinds of amazing meridians: bladder, kidney, stomach, all organ meridian, which I think is one of my favorites. And you get into programs about skin. The scar tissue programs are some of my favorites. I had 5 abdominal surgeries. That means a lot of scar tissue. And I wanted to be able to get rid of as much of it as possible. So I run scar tissue programs on a regular basis. And then there's the magnetic body. So all electricity, because I'm sure you've zapped yourself by rubbing on a shag carpet or a balloon, right? You're electrical. Electricity produces magnetism. So we need to support the electrical part of the body. And so cells that are at a negative polarity are actually healthier than those that are at a positive polarity. And we want to get more electricity flowing through the body. So Healy has addressed all 3 of those. And I'll go into some basic functions and how you might use Healy each and every day. So the Healy itself, you guys all have yours. Awesome, because I mean, look at how big this thing is. Just love it. And comes with a clip, so you can clip it right to your shirt. That makes it portable to carry around with you. I tuck it in my pocket, or, women don't have pockets in their pants too often, but we usually have a bra or a tank top on. So I use that as well. So there are a couple of programs that I want to run through that are some of the basic ways to utilize the Healy. You're going to get with your Healy wrist straps. These ship separately, thanks to our FDA. And these are one of my go-tos for when we run the pink dot, and I'll explain what that is in a second. So they just snap right onto these buttons. And I always put this button on the flat side of the wrist on either side, or you can put it on your ankles, put it on the inside because that's the flatter part. Find a flat spot to put it on so it's in good contact with your skin. This does not have to be so tight that it's uncomfortable. You can see I can get a finger in there. You can set it up if you want to and make it nice and comfortable as long as this is still in contact with your skin, okay? Does not need to be uncomfortable. Now it does come with sticky pads too. These are the diode pads. Now what you can do with the diode pads is you can, if you want to target something specific, like, if your right knee is bothering you and you've had, let's just say you've had an injury in your right knee and there's a little scar tissue in there, maybe run the scar tissue program. Or if you've got some knee pain, run the pain programs. So when you turn your Healy on, What you're going to want is, see that green flashing light? Pretty steady green flashing light. Now, usually the Healy, when you first get it, the button's not so easy to push. So I use my fingernail to push that down. If it turns on and then flashes really fast and shuts off, got to charge the battery. And that's through the port here, which works with any, like I've used the Android chargers, not just the one that comes with the Healy. So that charger does work pretty well. So I have plugged in these microcurrent cables. Now, here's a few things with microcurrent. If you've got an electrical appliance in your body, so pacemaker, cochlear implants, those pain TENS units they embed, do not use these microcurrent, do not use these wires, okay? You can short those appliances out. We don't want to do that. I don't recommend if you've got metal in and around your head, like a plate or something like that, pins, screws, anything like that, do not use this device, at least this portion of it. I'll show you what you can do instead. And if you do have metal in other places, pay attention to it because we are talking about vibration, and metal, when it gets to vibrating, can get painful. So I don't recommend it if you've got metal in and around your head or something along those lines. The last piece of it is pregnant or nursing. Don't recommend it for that as well. So other than that, go for it. The offset to that, if you will, if any of those conditions exist, seizure disorders. I should mention that. If you have a seizure disorder, do not use the microcurrent. Okay. There is an offset to that, and it's called the Healy coil. And I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay. So I've got this running. Now I'm going to switch to my screen share so that you can see what I'm doing on my phone. So bear with me a second here. All right. So now you see my phone with my dream car in the background. I put all my Healy programs together in one place. This is what we refer to as the pink dot. This is the microcurrent program. This is the blue dot. This is your scalar frequency broadcast device. This is Heal Advisor. Or no, that's the watch, my bad. And this is the Heal Advisor. Okay, and we'll go into each of these, but I'm gonna start here. Whoops, I'm trying to click the mouse and it's not the mouse, it's my phone. So it's going to come up, and first we get a disclaimer. Now this one's not connected right now. So with the new iPhone 12, something I've noticed with them is that my camera will not see to scan these. So I have to type this in. So what I'm typing in is the code that is below that QR code. And that is the serial number for your unit. So if you ever run into a situation where you can't get it to connect, you can type these in. So now it's going to connect. All right. So a few things to note. If you happen to pull this screen up and there's nothing on it but the bottom ones, so if there's only expert programs in this bottom ones, go into settings and check for updates. That's one of the ways I found Healy likes to make you do your updates in the Pink Dot app. So let me go into one of my favorite programs. I'm going to go right into Healy Bioenergetic 2, and I'm going to do the sciatica program, which is down here. Just going to show you really quick a few things about how this works. Now you'll see images where it recommends you put the diode pads. I don't do that. I find that this actually works really well when I use the wrist straps. But if someone has something specific and wants to work on something like my left heel hurts, so I would possibly put the pads on my left heel to target that area. But I know from my work that it's actually more related to my right hip. And if you don't know whether it's related to a specific body part, just go ahead and use your wrist straps. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this started. Now, the program transfers to the Healy itself. When you see this pop up, you're going to see the red dot and white behind it. Now, it turned white at 15%. Most people, or most of the time, you'll have a black line behind the red dot. That means you're not getting the full transfer of frequency that you want to. So you can use this intensity meter, which is at the bottom, to turn it up. Now, I recommend turning it up 5% at a time until it turns white behind the red dot. And just keep an eye on it. Now, it might flash black every so often. That's okay. It's still sending you frequency. What it's done is run into a little bit of interference, and it's applying that frequency. For some reason, I don't know why this didn't show up, but normally you have at the bottom a progress. I don't know why it didn't show up, but it's not material to this conversation. You will see time progress at the top. Sometimes it'll give you the percentages, relevancies, etc. Those don't matter. What you want really is you want a white line behind the red dot. Okay. Now, if you get a phone call and want to stop your program, you touch the program. So touch right here and it will stop, and touch it again and it will restart. Okay. So you'll see it went to black behind there, and I'm going to bump it up, and now it won't white again. Okay. And you let it run. This has a 30-foot direct line of sight Bluetooth. They did a low frequency Bluetooth because they don't like to add the EMFs. So if you're running this program, the phone and the Healy need to be within 30 feet of each other, direct line of sight. If you go out of the room, you need to take the phone with you. Okay. It's not the case with the blue dot, but it is the case with this one. All right. That's the basics of how the pink dot works. You can run 3 programs a day. That's what's recommended by Healy, not to exceed that. Now, if someone is sensitive and a little more fragile, you might start at 1 program a day. I sometimes will run 4 or 5, but that's my own personal situation. So you want to manage this based on your own personal health and your own personal situation, okay? But Healy's recommendation, and that's based on Dr. McMakin's experience, is 3 programs a day, okay? Now, I'm going to end the program there. I do want to show you a couple of other things. I don't know why, but Healy does not label these pain programs, but there is an image that you can be sent that shows you what each of them is. So if you don't have that and want it, ask myself or ask Leona, and we'll be happy to get that to you. Okay. Now, if you've got a Healy 2.0, you probably don't have the deep cycle program, which is unfortunate, I think. And this is one of the subscription programs that if I tell anybody to subscribe to any programs, it's this one. These are the most incredible programs. If you've had long-term chronic stress, your kidneys are affected. These are the 2 programs that are most direct for the kidneys, and then Pure Calm. I can put anybody to sleep in 10 minutes with Pure Calm. It's really amazing. This is about cleaning the whole body, digestion, that it works optimally, getting to the root and getting things really in the healing mode. First, second, third application. If someone is fragile and really has struggled with health for a while, they may need to rebuild foundations. That's what this is about. So this is a great, amazing, incredible way to support the physical body. Now, the reason I say it supports the physical body primarily is that it does increase protein synthesis and ATP production. I mentioned mitochondria. So what is an output of the mitochondria is ATP, and that is an energy. It's an energy boost for the cells and for you. Low ATP means fatigue. But there are things like there are chakra programs in here. So if I were to go into chakra programs, you might say, why would I run chakra programs directly? Those are primarily energetic. Well, actually, they are energetic, and we do definitely want to get interference out there, because if you have, as an example, if you had suppression of your voice for a long time, your throat chakra can be impacted by that, and your thyroid can be also impacted as well. So there are physical impacts to all energetic and emotional challenges. All right. So that's generally what I go through when people first start with the Healy pink dot. Now I'm going to go out of that one and I'm going to pop into the blue dot. Now, when you switch programs, you may have to clear the old one out, because on occasion they don't like, your system doesn't like having 2 open at once. Now I'm going to go back into the blue dot, but first I'm going to turn my Healy back on again because it will have shut off as I went out of that program. And I'm going to go into the blue dot program. All right, so the blue dot program, this is scalar waveform. Now, scalar waveform is amazing because it is a taller, narrower waveform, and it gives faster oscillations. So what that means is, if you're talking EMF, I'll use Rife as an example, you may get 100 oscillations per second. If you're talking scalar, so 100 oscillations mean 100 times or 100 times the frequency is sent to you. Scalar can be 10 or 100 times that many oscillations in the same second. And it penetrates deeper because it's a taller waveform. So I'm going to start with the bottom where that little house is. And I want to come here and you'll see clients and lists. I'm going to go into the clients. And this is where you add yourself as a client. And once you're in there, I've scanned a lot of people. You'll come in here and find yourself or whomever you're working with. You want to make sure that you have this, which means their individual's frequency vibration is recorded. It's like your thumbprint. You really want this recorded. This is how, if you're doing distance, sending distance Healy, this is how the Healy finds this person, is by their vibration. And the photo is required to do the aura scan. And this is all the information I put in. Now you get to see my birthday. This is a lie. I'm actually 26. So I put this information in. I don't generally put contact information in unless someone wants a report or a PDF. So I've got my information in there. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to click on these 3 lines up here. And I'm going to save and analyze. Now I didn't make any changes. So the save is just it's there. I'm not doing anything. But if you have to make a change, like you change the photo or you change someone's name or something like that, like you misspelled it, you would want to save it. So now I'm going to go into resonance analysis. All right. So I click on that. It's going to connect through Bluetooth to my Healy. So hang on a second. There it is. All right. And it'll close on its own. So once it's connected, it closes. Now I'm going to go straight to the database selection. So here's a few things to note with the database. You'll see Alaskan gem elixirs, Australian bushflower, Bach flower, creative homeopathy. And then we move into Healy animal, Healy beauty, Healy bioenergetic. Here's a few things to note about that. When it's all Healy programs and you scan with that, you're just getting these Healy programs. You are not getting Bach flower, bush flower, or any of the ones at the bottom. I Ching, Materia Medica, and Schussler salts. You will be getting the Healy proprietary programs when you scan all Healy programs. Well, I almost always start with all Healy programs just to set a baseline. So if I go into all Healy programs, now if you touch a program and you go, oh, that's not the one I wanted, you can touch this right here and go right back to it. So we go to all Healy programs, and then we're going to start analysis. This is where where your finger or a warm digit is required. It does work with toes. It does work with the back of your finger. So if someone's missing a fingertip, or I do have a client who actually has no arms and hands. So in this case, we would use toes, or I would scan as his surrogate. And this is how you do distance. So what we do is we say we're setting ourselves, our own needs aside and scanning on behalf of someone else. So what is it that they need? So I'll go ahead and put my finger on there. You'll see it scanning across there. Now, if you put your finger on there and it stops, lift your finger up, put it back down again. Oh, apparently I don't need a Healy scan today. This does occasionally happen. Let me go back in here. And I'm going to go directly to, let's go to Bioharmony 2. And I'm going to scan directly into that. So normally I would choose the all Healy programs, and then I would choose the top one of those and go into that one and scan from there. You can run the all Healy programs and set a baseline of healing for yourself. That's a great place to start. And then find the top one, maybe rescan, find the top one and dig deeper into that one. So first thing that comes up is toxins. Second thing is prostate, which is interesting. Lungs, food sensitivities, and bacteria. I don't know why the prostate comes up. I have a theory about it, but it's only a theory, so I won't share it here. But lungs is not surprising. Many years of medications, lungs are affected. Food sensitivities, I still do have some food sensitivities, and then bacteria. So there's a high presence bacteria for me right now, or higher than maybe I need. So I would come down here and click actions. Oh, by the way, this right here is just the date and time that it was scanned. And you can go back into the program and see how many times those elements have popped up before. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to click actions. Now you can show a PDF. I don't find that it tells us a whole lot. I'm going to go to vibrate. Now, most of the time when you're doing this kind of resonance scan, you can just do 1 minute, 2 minutes. I happen to muscle test, and if you use a pendulum, you can do the same thing. You can muscle test and or do the pendulum for the amount of time to run for. I'm going to, for illustration purposes, shorten this up, and I'll just run the 17 seconds. Now, you might ask why there are shorter programs. If someone is dealing with an acute issue, so if you were to run Materia Medica, someone's dealing with an acute issue. In homeopathy, which is Materia Medica is the book of homeopathy. In homeopathy, we run very short bursts of intense application over a higher frequency. So as an example, if someone's acutely dealing with an issue, say it's a cough, we would do, say, 1 6-CH granule every 5 minutes for an hour, rather than doing 10 granules at once. It allows the body to adjust to and start to integrate the healing changes without it being a really strong push to the other direction. So that is something that you might do, and if someone is in an acute situation, is do short bursts more frequently. So you might come in and you run this program, and I'll show you how to find it again. 17 seconds. The red shows the frequency going out. The blue shows the Healy reading your body's response, because this is the feedback mechanism. The Healy is always listening to your body and adjusting from there. So if it reads, hey, your body has adjusted the frequency that's being sent, it'll shift to another frequency. Okay. So you're going to get probably as much, if not more, benefit by doing 17 seconds 10 times in an hour than if you were to run an hour's worth of Healy. Because your body will get to a point where it says, I don't need anymore, and it actually won't accept it. So that's why I think it's important to muscle test for time. Ask your body what it wants, because some days it wants an hour and some days it wants 17 seconds. Now, if you wanted to run that program again, I came back to this home button here, and I'm going to go to lists, and you'll see right there, I don't know why it's got an invalid date. The database has been a little wonky lately. But you can pull into, so if I click onto this one, this shows an older one that I did, and I can rerun this program. Okay. And I'm going to show you how that list is going to be important for you. So if you want to go directly to a scan, you click on this little heartbeat sign, and you go directly to the resonance analysis or the aura analysis. I want to show you one more thing within the resonance analysis, because I think these are undervalued. Gem elixirs, bush flowers, Bach flowers. These are all emotional, energetic trauma recovery. So if someone's dealing with intense emotion and really wants to work through it, Bach flower is a beautiful way to go. If you have a dog who's afraid of thunderstorms, Bach flower, okay? These are emotional remedies, and they're incredible to support the body. So I'm going to go ahead and scan for which Bach flower is going to be most beneficial for me right now. It's taken a minute. Bush flower and gem elixir work similar, but they have different outcomes. It's really fascinating. So again, if you muscle test or use your pendulum, you might, if you're having an emotional day, utilize these programs to bring balance to yourself emotionally. The Schussler salts are core minerals. Materia medica is homeopathy. So, pessimism. That's not great. That's not the one I wanted to have come up in the Bach flower list. It actually aligns with where I was at earlier this morning. So it's not surprising. So again, this is going to be a short burst. So I would run, in this case, I would run 37 seconds. If you're like, I have no idea how long to run it for 1 minute. And then maybe run it for another minute, 20 minutes later. Just allow your body a chance to integrate these things. And it does not have to be, this is not hitting yourself over the head with a hammer. This is gentle nudges towards healing. Okay. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I might as well let it finish. So the next thing I want to go to is I'm going to go into the aura scan for a minute. And so again, I'm going to come back to here and I'm going to go to the aura analysis. I'm going to go find myself. I have to use myself as a guinea pig, but sometimes I'm airing my dirty laundry. All right, so we're going to record the aura. This doesn't mean a whole lot. This is the important one. So this was an unexpected day. So this is not surprising to me. My overall is on the low side. So throat chakra on the low side, but I'm using my voice right now a lot. So some of that energy depletion could be because I'm talking, and I've been talking a lot today. Solar plexus, personal power, and my sacral chakra, this is emotion. Now, a few things you can do here is you can say, I really just want to work on the throat chakra. So I'm going to unclick, I'm going to uncheck these items. Okay. And you can work just on the throat chakra. So I'm going to leave that one up and I'm going to go ahead and start the analysis. I don't use this. This kind of brings in confusion in my mind. So don't worry about that one. But I'm going to go ahead and let this run to tell me what is top of mind in throat chakra. So there is what's in throat chakra currently, and you'll see how complete and how this information is. It's really incredible. Now there's a cool feature you can do, which is right here. This is this little pencil sign. And you can come in here and you can write in your own affirmations. The Healy will quickly convert these to frequency and send them to you. So let's just say you, in this one, give and receive unconditionally. If you say, hey, I know how I learned to be conditional with my love, then you can write in there, I fully release whatever that is. I accept and I give love unconditionally. You can do those kinds of things. You can throw in whatever you want. Throat chakra is shining in the heart chakra color green. You can add other colors to it. You can do lots of different things within this entry. I will tell you though, what is in here is really powerful in and of itself. So you don't have to do that. You can, in the actions, you can show a PDF, and that is actually a fairly nice report if you want to send that to someone so they can see what their scan was. And these scans are unbelievably accurate. So now I'm going to go to vibrate, And again, we come into here and you can decide how long to run it for, just for illustrations purposes. I'm going to run it 17 seconds. So the red, I'm getting frequency. The blue, my body is responding to the frequency. So it's running through that 17 seconds. So just to recap, if I'm not sure what to run, I will start with all Healy programs. I'll run that. I'll run that program for say 2 minutes. And then I will go to the top one of my scan in that category. So let's just say job stress came up. I'll scan in that category, see what came up, run that for 2 minutes, and then I'll come to the top of that list and I'll go deeper into it. That is also a way to figure out which pink dot program to run, is to scan starting all Healy programs, take the top one, scan in that category, and take the top one of that category, jump over to the pink dot. So if I were to scan into, I'll walk you through it really quick. So I come into all Healy programs, I scan. And I don't get anything. There it went again. Apparently I'm not supposed to scan in all Healy programs today. My apologies. So let's just say I scanned in all Healy programs and it came up for Healy Gold Cycle. So I say, okay, which pink dot program do I run in Healy Gold Cycle? And I scan it and it pulls up Healy Balance. So then I would jump over to the pink dot from here. I would reconnect my Healy and I would run Balance in the pink dot for the full program that it recommends. Okay. So that is a way to figure out, one way to figure out how to use or which pink dot program to run. There are description pages available for each of these programs. So if you want them, let me know and I'll get them to you. The other way to figure out which program to run is to use this Heal Advisor search. So I'm going to click into this. I haven't been in here for a minute. Hopefully it's not going to take too long to load up. Okay. So it's syncing. Give it a second here. All right. So this has a variety of things in here. Okay. And you can go through and play around with it. I just want to go, I want to show you the basics. So I'm going to go into the Healy IMF programs. This is your disclaimer. This is not medical advice. So I'm going to click on all IMF programs. Sorry, not there on my phone. If you want to just know which animal program to run for a particular animal situation or digital program, etc., you can do that. I like to run them all. So I'm going to view all the programs. Now, I'm going to go up here to the top and I'm going to type in diabetes. Okay. Just general diabetes. Now, what Healy's done is they have created a database aligned with diagnoses. This is not diagnosing you for a condition, and this does not heal, treat, or cure anything. Because you're using this for your personal use, this is okay for you to utilize. If you are a practitioner, it is not for you to use this to tell somebody this is the programs to use. Your best bet is to hand it to them, let them type in what they've got going on and say to you, I want to run the top 3 programs. And then you run the top 3 programs or the top 1 program while you're in session, because the programs can last an hour. So that's a caution, because we want to be careful. We want to tread very lightly here if you're using this in practice. If you're using this for personal use, one-on-one across the kitchen table, talk about whatever you want. But in practice, it becomes different, because we are talking about the code of ethics and conduct that we're required to operate under. I am also going to show you this. Okay. And we did this one time. So we've got things related to connective tissue, fascial adhesion, plantar fasciitis. So my mom just got a diagnosis for that. So then this is what I could run to support her in feeling well and getting her mobility. Okay. So that's the nice thing about this program. Now, anybody with the original Healy, you would have had to purchase this program. Anybody Healy 2.0, this comes with your Healy as a freebie. Okay. Great program to have. Awesome, amazing, particularly if you don't know what to run. It is based on your Healy that you have registered with it. So I have the original Healy Resonance. If you have a Healy Professional, you're going to get all those programs. If you only have the Healy Gold, it's only going to tell you Healy Gold programs. So it is based on the version that you've got of the Healy. Okay. All right. I think that's it for function. So why don't we do this? I can open it up for questions, or I can do quick back office. Maybe I'll just pop into the back office for a minute because there were questions about that as well. So let me do this. Okay. So I'm going to go back to share screen, but I need to go to no, that's not what I want. Very good. Excuse me for a second. All right. So I'm going into, all right. So the virtual office moved, for those who have been with Healy for a little while, it moved to my.healy.world. Okay. So your screen looks like this. Once you log in, so you have user ID and password, I just want to show you a few things in the back office. And it's still transitioning. So there are still some things that are not fully into this virtual office. If you are building a business, you're kind of splitting between these two, but I just really want to show you a couple things on here. So this gives you the implementations that are that have been done, and here's what's left to be done. Okay, so they're making their way through the list, which is great. Healy downloads. So if you're looking for flyers, brochures, things, videos about Healy, this is your document download center. So April promotion, compensation plan, etc. If you want flyers on various things to hang in your practice, if you're, like I said, we've got a few massage therapists, if you want to have some flyers on various things, these are loaded here. So you can look into them. There's even presentations on some of these others. So if you want to learn more about digital nutrition, which is really incredible, you can do that. Learn more about the Healy coil, you can do that here. And then there are Spanish versions as well. Okay. So that's in downloads. That is also available. So if you come to the top left-hand corner and you click on those three lines there. So if you look where my mouse is, top left-hand corner, I'm just going to go to tools. So the downloads is here. That's what I just showed you. The Academy has a whole bunch of videos, training videos, and they keep loading more in there. So this is a way for you to continue to learn about the product. And then if you're building the business, how to build the business and compensation plan, things like that. Really quick into referral links. Now, if you have someone interested in purchasing their Healy and you want the credit for it, you need to give them a link. As you can see, you have, if you were to go in your virtual office, you have links for Asia, Australia, Europe, US, India, Thailand. So you can, if you have a friend in India and they want to buy a Healy, you give them this referral link and it will get shipped to them in India. Okay. Now, what you want to do here is you want to take that link and you'll see it's a series of numbers. Now there's a couple things you can do here. You copy that link, you can go into a new window and you can type it in there. Now you can leave it as is and they will get there, or you can take those numbers all the way back and type in your name if you want to. It'll still get people there. Oh, maybe it won't. Did they change that? My bad. So why did it not go in the right way? All right, so I'm going to take this link again. I'm going to copy it here. Huh, that's curious. It has worked before. I promise you that, because I've shared it with many people. There we go. Okay. So there's my numbers. And you go into here. Now what they do is they shop, they choose their Healy, they go through all of it. And then at the end is when it'll show your name on there. So you can they can purchase the Healy editions from here, etc. And you run it straight through like any other shopping cart. They will get an opportunity to create a password and a username and purchase their models. So while I'm here, actually, no, let me go back into the virtual office and then I'll come back to that. So there's your referral links. So again, you're going to go to this top left-hand side, you're going to go under tools and you'll get your referral links. Okay. Academy, downloads, and business training. The support center is the place I want to go to next. Your way of communicating with Healy is through the support center. So if you have any issues, I lost my wrist straps, one of them broke, my Healy clip broke, I need a warranty, my module's not working, whatever it is, you need to go through here. Now, the support center is still on the older platform. So you need to type in your username and password again and put in a support ticket. And it's a really super easy process. It's drop-down menus. You will need the serial number off your unit. But even that, they've got drop-down menus for some of those things. So it's an easy thing to go through. They will email you their responses, or you can come back into the support center and see what they've responded and communicate through them. There's no phone number. This is the way you communicate with Healy. And this is US and Germany. Both, they handle support differently. They separated the responsibilities. So that's how that works. Okay. And those are the big things I think with the new website that you need to be concerned with unless you're building a business. Now, Leona asked me about subscriptions. Let me show you. Now, Healy for a period of time went through a subscription model with their editions. They no longer have that. The editions are a purchase outright with a certain number of programs on it. Now, if somebody buys the Healy Gold but really wants a certain program, they can come in here and subscribe to program groups. So if they bought the Healy Gold but really want the job program, they can subscribe for $16 a month to the job program. That if they want it for 1 month, $16. If they want it forever, $16 a month. Okay, learning, fitness, mental balance, etc. So if this isn't in their Healy Gold, they can subscribe to it. Now, they're getting it as microcurrent only. So that's an important note, unless they have resonance or above, and then it comes in as microcurrent and the scan capability. Okay. So yes, this is, and there's our deep cycle program. This is the one that I think if you don't have it, you should have it. That's just my 2 cents on it. I think that is super, super important group of programs. My favorites. Now, if you have an accessory break, then you come in here and you purchase your cords here, which if you use your microcurrent a lot, I would recommend come in and buy an extra set of cords and have them laying around the house, because it is a real bummer when they break and you have to wait a week and a half to get your set back. So you might do that anyway. Excuse me. Which leads me into the coil. So I'm going to come back off share screen and because I want to show you the coil. So there it is. The coil itself is $224.50. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to show you the coil. Now I mentioned that for people with certain challenges, such as seizure disorders or electrical appliances or metal in their head, they shouldn't be using the microcurrent. So what you do instead is the coil. So that's what this is. These are 2 Tesla coils that create an arc, if you will, and they create a really small field of frequency resonance that communicates with the magnetic body. So it communicates with the electrical part of your body. So what it does is you've got your Healy here, okay, and this slides under the clip, and then the two coils go into the place where you would plug your wires in, and there. It plugs in like that, okay? Now the coil has a really small field that it generates. So this has to be on your person. So clip to your shirt, in your pocket. This I use with my dogs. Anakin, my little dog, I run the thyroid program on him. I run the animal programs on him. He just lays down on this. And then when he's done, when because they're so sensitive, they don't talk themselves out of getting healing, right? He'll get up and walk away when he's done. So he's very sensitive to it, and he knows when it's working, when it's not. So I trust him to know his body. And if I'm running thyroid program on him and then he gets up and walks away, I will switch it to another program and put it back under him. So again, we're super supportive. He's 15 years old, spunky as all get out. So this dog has benefited greatly from the healing. And let's see here. I think, programming your Healy. Let me do Q&A quick, and then I'll get into programming your Healy. Does that sound good? So let me unmute everybody. And if you want to ask a question, unmute yourself and say your name, and let's go.
Hi, I'm Leona from Empowering Wellness. Thank you, Juliana, for all of the incredible information. I was running my memory program with my coil so that I could remember and input all the information. One of the questions, yes, I have, is how to program. We talked a little bit about the aura, but we didn't talk about how recording the vibration of certain supplements or books or something like that. So we're going to go into that. Yes. I wanted to question/comment on the fact that when you run the Pink Dot app, what I've been told is once the program has been transmitted from your phone to here, you can actually swipe out of it and it'll still be flashing into the green, and you do not need your phone or connect it to the Bluetooth. So if you want to completely disconnect from your phone and go for a meditation walk, do some grounding, do some yoga without having your phone distracting you, the program is saved in and is running as long as the green thing is flashing. You do not need the Bluetooth blue flashing with it. The program will still run. You will have to reconnect into your program if you want to pause it or stop it, but it will run automatically by itself. And just kind of like how I was running my memory, I didn't know when it was done, but I kind of felt like it was done. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's not flashing anymore. So the program is now complete. So I wanted to clarify and confirm that with you.
Yeah, that is the case.
So I know a lot of people think that they need to have their phone with them looking at that program the whole time. You do not. Also, when the line goes from black to white, a lot of times it is a hydration thing as well. So hydrating the actual electrode or hydrating yourself will also help take the black dot to a white background with the dot going around, correct?
Yep. Yeah, it can be a hydration issue. So drink some water, even sprinkle a little pink sea salt into that water, get some minerals in there. Yep. For sure.
Excellent. So correction, there is no more subscriptions now. There is only program add-ons. So if you had a version of the Healy and if you actually can scan all Healy programs and it'll actually still come up Deep Cycle programs, because my friend had that come in. She's like, the program I don't have. So now I know I can advise her that she can go in and just buy the Deep Cycle program, so that when she scans for it and she gets those, she can not only just vibrate them in, but she can also do a pink dot targeted once she has bought the program to add to her Healy.
That's
and
awesome.
Then once it's added in, then she would go into settings and do an update, and then that would load it into the system.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I wasn't aware that it would do that. So that's good information.
Yes. She scans for it all the time, and she's like, that's the one that I don't have.
Yes.
So I told her to vibrate. So when we first got started, I was told that anything acute should be about 36 seconds for about 6 to 8 times during your day. And anything chronic would be the 2 minutes and 49 seconds, 1 to 2 times would be sufficient enough, because it's a longer vibration and you just need a couple sessions of it to really input it into your system.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Besides, of course, if you have tools of muscle testing and using the pendulum in an intuitive way, but for more scientific kind of normal, if it's acute, like you've got maybe hypersensitivity came up because you're having some seasonal support that you're needing from the pollen, then you would be vibrating once you scan for that. Since it's acute, 36 seconds or 37 seconds, 6 to 8 times during the day. So you're giving that short burst into your body. So it's helping to balance and bring it back into resonance. That's why it's called a resonance scan, is bringing it back into resonance. Now, the two programs that Healy gave us in addition to is bioenergetic support and coherence. We didn't talk about yet. So bioenergetic support is helping to boost the body's actual bioenergetic field. So this is great for immune. I really like this one in the morning. And coherence is bringing coherence of heart and mind connection together, cohesively getting everything in alignment. And I actually really love doing that on the coil. And when you use the coil, you want it at 100%. Is that correct? You want to bring the intensity up to 100.
At least 50%. Yeah.
At least 50%. Okay. So 50% to 100 with the coil creates a field around you. And if you're working on someone, you can even have it hidden in and create coherence for yourself. And if you're in, because we're all playing each other's energy field, you could be creating coherence with the collective around you, which I actually do a lot for my wellness retreats and events in order to help the collective. So anybody that has a Healy, I'll say, let's put coherence on, and we'll all be spread out around, and we'll be able to help raise the vibration and frequency of the collective to have that more coherence experience. Is that correct for you as well?
Yeah, that's awesome. What a great idea. I love that.
Excellent.
Yeah. That heart-brain coherence is really important for everything, because we're too in our heads and we're too stressed and too much anxiety going on. When you drop into your heart and you listen to your heart, it will give you the right path. It will never steer you wrong. And the more we can get into our hearts, the more love we can spread into the world. So the idea that they both, get this really great communication, love that program. It's one of my favorites.
It's also perfect program for meditating and manifesting.
Yes. And I loved how you touched about how the chakra programs are really great for the physical, because a lot of physical emotions. So I'll actually, with a lot of my clients, do an aura scan, vibrate for the 2 minutes and 49, because most everything in our auric field is more chronic, because it tells us if it's in our ancestral or parental, if it's our emotional. So a lot of that stuff has been building up over the years. You always want to do the 2 minutes and 49 for auric scans, and at least twice for the day for a full session. Then if you go into the pink dot app, say your heart chakra was the most relevant for today, then I would run a targeted heart chakra program to even help boost that even more. And then running the heart chakra in itself will help increase circulation and blood flow and everything associated with the heart. So that's how it can help both energetically and physically, then marry them together.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. Good. I just wanted to get those clarifications on there. Is it also true if I were running the Healy on the coil, and say I had a glass of water and I wanted to put a pure program running into it, would the water also get the detoxifying supporting benefit frequencies that I would then put into the water, then into my body, so I could actually be double dosing frequency myself with having the physical of that? Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. Because water has memory. So it will remember what it's been exposed to. So yeah, any of the frequency programs, all I'll do is I've got, if my water bottle's here, right? You can put it next to it, put it on your counter, put this on top and run it through. And you don't need to run it for very long, 37 seconds, maybe a minute, and you'll get that frequency in there. And we're going to talk about structured water when we get into the program, but structured water is really important. The body's 70% water.
So if you're running it for 37 seconds into that bottle, but the whole day you're drinking your water bottle, you are drinking those frequencies into your system, working systematically. And
Yes.
then time to run your targeted programs, then you would run the pure program by itself in a targeted thing. But it's
Yes.
a way to be able to continue that higher vibration, because the more we increase our vibration, the more we bring our body into balance and harmony, which is what we're wanting to be in that healthy, whole, and complete system.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you. I just wanted to get those clarifications out there.
Very
And
good.
so let's have everybody else pop on for some logistical questions that you might have, whether it's, the actual scanning of something or how to send them. If you're still not clear on anything, remember, this is us empowering you in your health and wellness journey so that you have this amazing device, this unicorn device that does so much, this and more that we have talked about today, that we want to make sure that everybody is feeling very confident in how logistically to use it and feel sound sharing it to be able to help with that. So please pop on and ask those questions.
What is the current new programs? Because I haven't really looked at it's changed so many times that I want to know what, like, it used to be the Resonance was the top, and I know that's not true anymore.
Yeah. So the current, the top model is called the Professional. And Generation 1 Resonance became Professional, but then they added the coaching program to those. Resonance Plus is the latest, newer one, and it is probably close to what we have as Resonance Generation 1 in terms of programs. And it bridges the gap between the current Resonance, which is probably more like our Holistic Health Plus was. So scanning capability, a lot fewer programs. I'd say a lot fewer, but fewer programs. And then there was a big jump to the Professional in terms of the number of programs. So Resonance Plus is meant to bridge the gap between those two. The coaching programs, I've had a chance to play with them because I do have a couple of people in my team with the Professional models, and they're super cool. If you're doing that kind of work, coaching people or wanting to do it for yourself.
What's the price for someone wanting to go from a Resonance to the Pro?
Pro is running 4,100, and the Resonance standing price is 1,515. They haven't been doing upgrade specials where you can go from. In other words, they usually do their upgrade special where you can buy the Resonance at the next price down. But they didn't do an upgrade your current one promotion in a while. But yeah, it's 1,515 to 4,100. And if you're just looking for coaching programs, you're better off by the coaching programs, which if you bought both of them would be around $800. And then add Deep Cycle H. And you'd have a lot of what they've got. Oh, Job. I think that's the other one that's not in the Resonance now, that is in the Professional, and Skin. So if you need those, you can add them as program add-ons.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
So, yes, this is Mary Sue.
Hi.
I have several questions. On the aura interpretation,
Mhm.
this happens to me a lot, not for any of my friends or clients, but on my bar graphs, my aura score will be high. But on the total, like I will have a 9. Like, am I dead? I don't know why it's so low in the red zone when the other bar graphs on the other chakras are, probably 80 and above to 96.
So
99.
so the target for the aura is 60 to 65. That means you're running it pretty even keel, right?
Okay.
The chakras are energized, but they're not over energized. What that would tell me is you're revving high and you're running your battery down. Does that make sense?
Not totally. So my total score is a 9 in the danger zone, but all the auras are running high. So what am I doing to myself?
So that would tell me that you're shoveling cold 24/7, stress levels high, maybe you're go, 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 go. So your chakras are all pushed high.
Okay.
Beyond sort of an even keel.
And then how do I correct that?
I would run as many relaxation, stress programs, meditations, etc. And if you have too many things on your calendar, maybe take a few out.
Okay.
Find ways to not run shoveling cold 24/7. Get a little more downtime throughout the day, maybe do fewer things, allow a couple things to go that you don't normally allow to go on that particular day, to bring that down so that your batteries have a chance to recharge, so that your overall is balanced.
And that's a pretty good marker if I'm stressed. Okay. The other question is, a lot of women have titanium markers in their breast or other parts, like when they've had biopsies. They place a titanium marker under the skin. So if they need to go in and do a procedure, they know where it is. Is that something that would prevent you from running the microcurrent?
It's not specifically listed as a contraindication, and unless it creates a problem, I wouldn't see a reason not to use the microcurrent.
Okay, and then some people have had metal clips put in with a colonoscopy that didn't pass normally. So I'm guessing that's a metal.
It runs the potential of causing challenges. Again, it's not specifically contraindicated, but they aren't going to list everything.
Right. So again,
they don't even list really metal as a contraindication. I've had a personal experience with someone who did not tell me that she'd had plate in her head after a car accident. So she has a metal plate here and wires and screws through here, and started having seizures. And it took us a little bit of time. And then she finally mentioned it in conversation. And I went, whoa, wait a second. What? And so that's why I share that with people, is because I've had personal experience with someone who had a negative impact with that. That's why I'm cautious around the head, because seizure disorders are already a contraindication. Right.
So
but again, if it's problematic,
what do you do? Could you repeat again what you do to compensate for that? You run the blue app, or you use the coil?
Use the coil or the blue dot.
Okay. And then I'm back to the blue dot. If you want to enter a client who lives away and you don't have access to their finger for that vibration, when you set up their client data, can you use your own finger with the intent that it's for them?
Usually what I do is put their photograph in there, make sure to get a picture, because it holds this frequency signature as well. If you can't actually have them hold the Healy to record the resonance, their signature, and then you've got that connection for the Healy to identify. Their name, birth date, and birthplace are also really important.
Okay, but if you do have a picture and you would hold the Healy in your palm and state the intention that it's their vibration entering based on the photo?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't do it that way. I rely on the photograph and the data.
Okay.
Mhm.
So feedback from that, Mary Sue, is I do that. I will have a video conversation like this with them. I'll
Mhm.
actually have them put their right hand up to the screen. I hold the back because this is where the quantum sensor and biofeedback is on this side, right? And so I'll
Okay.
take my foil off and I'll actually hold it up and have them energetically and like have intention that their palm is touching the palm. And I set my intention that this is for them to be able to record. So I record their vibration this way. And then I also scan them this way. I have them take a deep breath and I say, energetically connect to the Healy. What is in your highest and best?
Mm.
What am I in resonance with? And then once they have created it and I've pushed my finger for the scan and I have the intention to it, it will read them. Every single time it is not my read. I have read myself directly afterwards. My read is always different from theirs because energy is intent and intention. As long as they're connecting and you're connecting with them and the intention is that their highest and best in their scan, it has worked every time for me. And I do a lot of remote sessions. I've been working with the client for over 6 months and her life is completely changed energetically. And I have done nothing but long distance Healy and theta energy work with her like every 2-3 weeks for 6 months now. And it's been working absolutely fantastic. And they're her scans every time.
Thank you for that. Because everyone that wants help from me is out of state and I didn't know how to approach that. Okay. My last question is the Healy or visor. Do I need to pay for a script or a new program for that?
You got an original Healy.
My computer it blocked the screen as you were talking. So yes, the Healy Advisor is the one with the swirl on the app.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
so
I can't enter anything there. Like
you have a generation 1 Healy?
I guess.
The original one?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So you have to purchase the program, access to the program then.
Like a monthly access or
no, it's a one-time.
Just a one-time purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that's what you said. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? You want me to dive right into programming your Healy?
Yes. And I wanted to just clarify, I also make sure that I put all of the person's information in, not just the hand intention, that their picture, I have them send me a recent picture of themselves that they just took. I say, take a selfie and send it to me. So it has the energy and the connection of the now, so that we're really in real time scanning them and connecting with them. And I always do it on video chat so that we can have that personal interaction with it. So if that helps anybody, I wanted to clarify with that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So let's get into programming your Healy real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my Healy on. Now I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this. Everything is frequency. Even a photograph represents the frequency of the thing. So I'm going to move back over to screen share on my phone. Okay. So I am going to go into the Blue Dot app. Okay. Now I'm going to come here to the first to the client. So what you want to do is create a generic client. So I did a sample client. You can do whatever you want to do, program locations, my Healy supplements, whatever you want to do. I like it to be on the top of the list because this is where the programs are at. So I'm going to go back to here and I'm going to go into lists. And then when I search for my clients, I'm going to go to a sample client, see it down here at the bottom, and click done. And these are all the things that I have programmed into my Healy. Okay. So you'll see that I've got a lot of different things in here. So I'm going to go back up to the top. I've got pine pollen tincture. I've got an affirmation in there, a couple of affirmations. I did a program here because this was an issue for me, and I also have clients with this issue. So I did a multi-part program, and this is a supplement that I commonly used with clients, and it's Thyro Life Force as needed, Thyro Code as needed, Hypothal Code, Progescence Plus. I put a ton of stuff in here. I even put in here some impatience as a Bach flower, and then an affirmation to align with the full moon cycle gently. So you can put all kinds of things into these programs. They do not all have to be standalone. Yeast fungal detox. This is a supplement here. Apparently I have more than one of those. A book Leona showed me. Structured water, feminine. Now you might ask why feminine. This was because I was doing some work on divine feminine, divine masculine balance, and I needed my divine feminine water structured differently. This was something I muscle tested and intuitively did. Sunflower seeds, BF&C is a supplement, full moon alignment. So lots of people are out of alignment with the full moon and the new moon. These are other supplements that I put in here. Here's another affirmation. This is actually an essential oil blend. These are frequency healing. So brainwave massage and whole tones are frequency healing. And this is a flower essence that a friend of mine makes. So I wanted to have each of these programmed in here. And I'll show you how to do the various ones, a couple of different methods. So the first one I'm going to show you is structured water. So I'm actually going to go to Safari, and I'm going to type in structured water. Now, I mentioned you can do this using an image. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find the image of structured water. And right there's the one I want. So you'll see unstructured water and structured water. So I'm going to save this image to my photos. Now, I don't want the unstructured water on there. And in this case, then I'm going to have to edit the image to take out the unstructured water and leave just the structured water picture, because we're going to use this in the programming. So if you don't have a supplement, like there's a supplement I used to take that the company has been out of stock for, and they finally eliminated it from their lineup. I had a little bit left in a bottle, and I'll show you how to program that. And so I program that supplement right into my Healy, and I run that frequency to myself. So from here, I'm going to go down here to the bottom to the heartbeat symbol, and I'm going to go into the aura analysis. All right. So I'm going to find that generic client that I put in, and I'm going to click on record aura. I got to Bluetooth it. So it's going to connect for me. Now you notice for my client, I just put a picture of my Healy in there. You can put a picture of anything you want to in there. So we're going to skip past this. And what I do is I usually take all but one out. So I uncheck all but one, and I go ahead beyond these next two steps because they aren't what we're looking for. So then if you look on the right-hand side, there's an X. I want to touch that X, and I want to, yes, delete that. I want to delete all three of them to where now I'm working with a blank slate from a frequency standpoint. So down at the bottom, I click on actions and I go to add manually. All right, so this is where we have some fun. So my desired state is going to be structured water. Okay. You can add other things in here as you want to. That's entirely up to you. Key thing here is your relevance should be at 100% and your intensity at 10. Okay. And then we come down to the bottom and we go to add symbol. So this is the next screen we want. And here's your add symbol. We're going to add that image from my photo gallery of the structured water. Now we're bringing that frequency into this, into the Healy. And then we're going to, once we know that that's saved, we're going to touch the X. We're going to click the check mark. And now this is in, and from here you could go ahead and vibrate, run some of this frequency. The first question I always get is, how do I know it's coming to me? Again, energy is intention. So it's coming to you, or what I've done is, as Leanna was talking about, I'll take my Healy and place it next to the water bottle or on top of the jar of water, and I'll run the frequency for a minute, and I will restructure the water in the water bottle. Okay. Now, when you come back to, I'm going to click on the little house symbol in the bottom left, and I'm going to come to the list again, and you'll see I've got this new, the second one down, 516. But how do I know what that is? So I go to it and it says structured water. I'm like, great, that's what I want. You touch it and you slide it to the left, and you have a chance to rename it. So I delete all this out. Okay. So now when you look, now it's in my list of structured water. So if I want to run this frequency, and I run this frequency with clients as well, particularly when I know that they're very dehydrated. So I will apply salt and structured water, and sometimes bioplasma cell salts, fulvic minerals. Those are all great for hydration for different purposes. Okay, so that's the basics of how you program. Now, we want to use the same process to program a supplement, but in this case, I physically have a supplement here with me. It's called Ultimate Rescue. It's a combination of different Bach remedies. So what I'm going to do is, the only difference in this process, and I'll show you it here in a second, is we're going to record a vibration instead of adding a picture, or you can do both. So I'll show you this. So I go to a sample client. I record the aura again. And in this case, because this is Bach remedy, this is my own personal thing, I will, because this is emotional, I'll use the heart chakra as my target. And I'll go through each of these steps, just bypassing them. Again, we're going to delete each of these things that came up. Okay. And then, whoa, my options aren't down there. I'm going to try that again. I'll just leave crown chakra. I'll delete these out. All three are deleted out. I'll go to actions. I'll add manually. I'll type in Ultimate Rescue. Okay. Again, you can add description more if you want. We're going to take that intensity all the way up to 10. I want the max benefit I can get. We're going to add symbol. Now this time it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to record the vibration. So what I do in this case is I'm going to place the supplement on top of my Healy. And then I'm going to record the vibration of the supplement. Okay, now it's in there. I'm going to click the X and the check mark. Now I can vibrate the frequency here if I want to, but first I want to go and rename it. So I'm going to click on the little house again. I'm going to go to lists. I'm going to find that one. I'm going to go over and I'm going to rename it. Okay, to Ultimate Rescue. Now from here, as you can see in the bottom, I can vibrate from here and I can just do quick 17 seconds of Ultimate Rescue. And there we go. I don't need to physically have the supplement with me any longer. You can do this with any of your supplements. If you're planning on traveling, you can maybe record your supplements rather than carrying them with you, particularly if you can't travel with liquids and things along those lines. So you have the opportunity to do that. Now, if I wanted to add more to this one, from here, I can touch actions again and add manually, and I can add another supplement. So as I did with uterine fibroid, I added and added and added and added until I had the options list of what's necessary. And the beautiful part is the body will choose what it accepts and what it doesn't accept. That's why I put it in as needed. So Ultimate Rescue might be as needed. So your body will take in what it needs and it will bypass the rest. So it's not negatively impacted by exposure to it. It just says, I don't need that today. So if I want to come back and find those again, I go to lists, sorry about that. And I find Ultimate Rescue, I find my structured water, I find my pine pollen, my affirmations, all of those things are in there. And that's how that works. So I love programming stuff in there. You can see I have quite a few in there. And I've done quite a few combination programs as well, and helped other people put them on their Healys also. Because when I have a client working with something and they do own a Healy, I will help them program in things so it becomes an easier process for them to manage on their own versus trying to manage multiple things. And also, you know, we're talking about energetics anyway. When we're talking about something like homeopathics, like Ultimate Rescue, then rather than buying a bottle for $30 and only having it for one person, program it in here. And if your family is having a rough time, broadcast the Ultimate Rescue into the whole field for the family. Or if a client's having a particularly difficult day and you're really struggling to get them to the point where they're back into healing mode, maybe you can use the Ultimate Rescue. Now, do you need to buy it? No, you can go and find a picture of it and use that picture to draw the frequency in. So easy to do. So that's it. That is how you program. So hopefully that was helpful for you all. Are you guys able to, yeah.
Yes, very helpful. Thank you so much. And I think that is such a great suggestion on when you're traveling for the collective, you know, using supplement that you might not have anymore. That's so great. So thank you so much for that, because it truly is intent and frequency, and everything has an energy and everything has a frequency. And we're having this amazing device that is allowing us to actually truly get the frequency in our bodies in a bioenergetic field at a cellular level, which is huge.
It is for sure. So good. Well,
thank
awesome.
you. Any other questions from the collective?
No? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording then.